It's day 3. I've lost Tracy. Going to continue on.
Hello, I'm Tracy.
And I'm Travis.
We're 2 Americans who just moved with our miniature husky, Tabasco, from our home in Texas to the city of Leiden, the Netherlands. We're not quite sure what the future holds for us, but we're excited to share our journey with you.
Today, we're probably making Tracy the happiest she's been.
It's bringing out my inner child, for sure.
We're headed to a castle that's near Utrecht.
Castel de Haar.
And we're going to go check out and see what they have. I don't think they allow filming inside.
But we do have access to the grounds with our tickets, too. So hopefully we'll be able to show you some of that.
Yeah, let's go.
We just got our first glimpse, and holy crap.
Like, we've been to a couple of other castles, and this one's massive.
Yes. I was doing a little reading online, and there's something like 200 plus rooms and 30 bathrooms.
That's crazy. And
Yeah.
just seeing this, like, there appears to be its own church, and maybe even what looks like kind of a bridge house to get into it.
Yeah, the grounds are supposed to be, like, the gardens are supposed to be very similar to, I mean, maybe not quite as elaborate as Versailles, but
Still
I'm
pretty
very
cool.
excited to check it out.
Let's see what's inside.
Yeah.
We just walked into the courtyard for the entrance area where there's a little restaurant and stuff like that, and even that's really cool. Look at this.
What's even more impressive is I think maybe we've seen 8 people.
Yeah, it is dead. And given the corona situation, that's probably for the best.
We're okay with that.
So we visited a couple castles. A couple different castles, actually. We visited Edinburgh.
Yes, Edinburgh Castle. Mm-hmm.
We did that on our honeymoon.
Yes.
That was really nice. And then we've went to Versailles together.
Mm-hmm. You've been in the castle.
I've been in Versailles. The day that we went, there was about a 3-hour long queue, and we decided to just tour the gardens.
It was lovely.
It was very nice. You've been to Bolt Castle.
Yes. So where I'm from, about 45 minutes to an hour away, is a castle in what's called the Thousand Islands. Mm-hmm. There's actually over 1,000 islands in that little area. The castle is on one of the Thousand Islands called Hart Island, and the man who started building the castle on Hart Island built it for his wife Louise. He was the proprietor of the Waldorf Astoria Hotel in New York City.
Unfortunately, his wife died about 4 years before the castle was completed.
Yes. And he was so devastated by her death that he actually never completed the castle. So the water authority up there purchased the castle and the island for $1, and they've started restoring it. And as a child, my family would go, and I've seen it from when it was vandalized and almost nothing to it almost completely restored. And it's just a really beautiful place. And it pales in comparison to what's behind us.
This castle is just massive.
But it's a really lovely story, and I think it definitely solidified my love for visiting castles.
Mm-hmm. This is incredible.
Definitely one of the best days I've had in the Netherlands so far.
Tracy's cheesing over here because I think her Disney princess vibes are coming out a little bit. But it is absolutely massive. We learned a ton of history.
Everyone who is here, who works here, is so helpful. I asked the one gentleman how long it took him to memorize, like, everything about the castle. He said 10 weeks, and that's just basic knowledge. Mm-hmm. I mean, just a wealth of information.
This is definitely a little off the beaten path.
Yeah.
But if you're looking for something to do and it's kind of a bad weather, it's going to be a nice place to check out.
It was pretty sparsely populated throughout, which made it really nice for during COVID. What was the most interesting thing you learned?
Probably that this was just like the summer house. They would come for a month in September, hang out here, and then scurry back off to Paris, which I think makes a lot of sense when you think of the comparisons to Versailles and stuff like that, because they were, for all intents and purposes, living as if they were, French, and then coming here and spending their time hanging out with, Bond and...
I think my favorite fact that I learned was the amount of celebrity guests they had. We actually got to see the room where Gregory Peck got to stay with this most opulent bed ever. There was a photo of Brigitte Bardot playing poker. Coco Chanel. The list goes on and on.
Actually, I think the thing that I saw you get the most excited about was the bathroom that had a bathtub.
Like in the floor.
In the floor. And definitely looked like it was something that you would spend all your time in.
Yes. What was your favorite room?
Probably the great room. The big room that you entered when you first got into the viewing it all. It was just so many details.
Yeah. One of the things we learned early on, and like when we started traveling, we went to the Louvre, and the best advice I got was to look up. So I can tell whenever we're at a place as gorgeous as this, like you and I are consistently looking up, because there's so much detail that a lot of people don't see.
Yeah. This was definitely something that we should bring some friends too when they come into town.
Yeah, this was incredible. I would love to come back here when it's a bit warmer. Unfortunately, a lot of the smaller rooms were closed due to COVID, so you couldn't go and see a ton of the restrooms or any of the smaller, like, maids' quarters or anything like that, just because of how small the spaces were. But I would definitely like to come back.
Sure. So thank you all for joining us today on our little excursion out. If you did like this video, please like, subscribe, all those things, and please join us again for our next adventure.
Let us know if there's any other magical castles or any hidden gems you think we should go visit. We're totally up for that.
Sounds fun. Bye. We stopped by a little cafe that's here, and it is the cutest. The guy there is so nice. Got some really fancy hot chocolate.
Super decadent, crazy looking hot chocolates. Much needed post castle tour treat.
We found a hedge maze. Let's see if we can.
I'm terrible with directions.
Let's see if we can do this. Let's go. Appears we're stuck. We'll never get out. We'll have to live here forever. You have chocolate on your cheek. No, much higher. I think we're here. We made it. Oh, yeah. Here, let's do like a pose. Here.
It only took us 30 minutes in the pouring rain.
No, not even that.
Okay, like 25.
Sure.
My husband's great sense of direction.
You're the one who ran off.